Good morning, everyone. I hope you are well. I am sitting out on my front step, and I want to read you a poem this morning. Today, the air feels heavy. I don't really know what that means, but for me, the air feels heavy. I think part of it is that fall is coming, or is here, depending on the moment here in Northeast Ohio. And it's been a week for me, and I'm sure it's been a week for many of you, with different things going on and chaos and busyness and unexpected things popping up, as well as just the mundane and the everyday and all of that. And so I am sitting here because I am going to read this poem that I found in the book called, I think it'll be the right way for you guys, A Rhythm of Prayer. It's a collection of meditations for renewal. And it's put together, edited by Sarah Bessey, and it features many, many different individuals. I'm going to read a prayer that is called For the So-Called Lost. And I'm going to turn the camera around so that you can see a little bit of my pretty herb garden. As soon as I remember how to turn around the camera. I swear to goodness. Okay, here we are. Here's some of my herb garden, and we'll see if I can zoom in. Do you think I can? Of course not. All right, well, you're going to look at the neighbor's house, and you're going to look at some of my herb garden, because, well, that's what we have. So, this is a poem called For All the So-Called Lost by Reverend Emmy Kegler. And it begins with the scripture from the Gospel of Luke, chapter 15, verse 8. And what woman, if she had 10 coins and lost one, wouldn't light a lamp and sweep the house and search diligently until she finds it? And the poem begins. Jesus, I am lost. They told me to follow you, and I did. To the edges, to the margins, to the humble and grieving, to the oppressed and slandered, to where you always showed you were. And when I called back to them, to show with joy what I had found, to celebrate what had been restored, they called me lost instead. They call me wanderer. They call me stubborn. They call me black sheep. It was supposed to be all green pastures and still waters. It was supposed to be all restored souls, but all I could taste were my unattended doubts, and all that bubbled up were troubled waters of unanswered questions. And for asking them, the shepherd said, my soul was wrong. They call me sinner. They call me wasteful. They call me prodigal. And Jesus, I do not know how to tell them the riches that they say I stole when I left the house of God. They turned out to be pig slop. I do not know how to tell them how, like you, I shared meals with sex workers, and it was a feast of unending grace. Jesus, today I heard how pennies can't be made of copper anymore, because the amount of copper needed to make a penny is more expensive than a penny is worth. And Lord, I feel it. They ask me to be something smaller, to be pressed down into something worthless, to be crushed into something worthless. Jesus, I have tried. I have tried to be small enough. I have tried to be shiny. I've tried to be worthy. But every time I press myself with the imprint of someone else's expectations, it misses the mark, and I am left off center. So here I am, Lord, a quarter clinking around on the bottom of the divine washing machine, a nickel dropped under the car seat, ground into a gritty floor, a penny slipping from a pocket, rolled into a corner under the bed where dust mites and bobby pins are my only fellow believers. Jesus, I need to see the broom in your hands. I want to hear you turning over each empty pitcher and shaking out every neatly folded sheet. I need to see your belly pressed against the floor and your dark eyes peering into my own darkness. You know darkness, Lord. It doesn't scare you. You made it. Long before your hands were bound in wrinkles and veins, you crafted night and sky, and you were afraid of neither. But I am lost, and I am afraid. Lord, they call me lost, and if I am, I want you to find me the way you found the world, nicked at the edges, dusty and rusty, called unwanted and worthy. And still your hands reached out to cradle every worthless coin, like each was a pearl of great price. Jesus, in this congregation of the forgotten corner, I am finding I am not alone. We're the church of the still lost and the lost and found. So when you come, bring a satchel ready to collect what longs for home. Jesus, for every sheep and coin and child called lost, may you pull us close and whisper, found. The author of this poem is Reverend Emmy Kegler, and she is a pastor, an author, and a speaker called to ministry at the margins of the church, especially, it says, among the LGBTQ plus Christians. And she serves as pastor of Grace Lutheran Church in Northeast Minneapolis, which is a small, servant-hearted neighborhood congregation. And it says she is also a co-leader of the Queer Grace Community, a group of LGBTQ plus Christians in the Twin Cities. And she has a first book, One Coin Found, How God's Love Stretches to the Margins, and it details her life as a queer Christian who is called to ordained ministry, formed, and how it formed her relationship with Scripture. And she lives in St. Paul with her wife, Michelle, and their 2 dogs and cats. And I just thought this was a beautiful poem for each of us as we are feeling lost in our own way, and we feel not enough or insufficient or wrong or whatever they say, knowing that God seeks each of us. And it goes with the poem, or the scripture for this coming week, which is the scripture of the lost sheep, and the shepherd searching for that one sheep out of the 100, leaving the 99 to go search for the one. And I just thought it was a beautiful way to go into the rest of this week and remembering that we are each God's beloved, each and every one of us, even if and no matter what. And I'm grateful for Brexel UMC and this community that we are cultivating as a safe space for all of us to wrestle and discern and wonder and think together about how we live out life as a disciple. So I look forward to seeing you on Sunday as we continue to dig into the series, The Struggle is Real, looking at one another with God's eyes is what we're focusing on this week, and how that can help us and teach us how to treat one another as we disagree with one another. And then also we have all of our classes that are beginning this Sunday during the 9:30 hour for kids and adults and everyone in between. And so you're welcome to join at 9:30 to come and to enjoy the classes and enjoy the fellowship and then enjoy worship together. We have an awesome God and a beautiful community. Have a great weekend, everyone. Bye.